What is going on, guys? TKD 123 video. It's about another album that we reviewed this week. Obviously, it is October. That means that we got a ton of OVO albums, and right here today we have another OVO album as well that we are going to be reviewing. And it has been a pretty hectic week this month in terms of OVO. And I think next week we also have another one as well. Actually, no, not next week. The week after that we have another one. But to review this album here, it was by an artist that this is his #2 project in line, and it is overall it's a great one, right? So let's jump into it right now. We are going to review Division's Morning After. Of the logistics of this project, it is 13 songs and 52 minutes long, so it definitely, a nice kind of size overall. A little bit high on the song count, but overall, pretty nice length album as well. And what surprised a lot of people, including myself, is that this album features nobody. It is no features at all. It is just Division and Division only, which, when actually, really going back and thinking about, them as a group, right? In their first album, they actually did the same thing. They had nobody else on the album as well. So definitely does feel like it is, somewhat of a regular thing for them to have nobody else on their projects. And also one more quick disclaimer before we go into the actual songs and everything. The artwork is great. I love the artwork so much. The artwork is very, very pretty. Definitely just is something very, very nice to look at overall. You know what I'm saying? Just very, very nice artwork. I'll just put it out there. Now going into this, right? So historically, Division has been a little bit more of a sexual kind of slant to their songs. They tend to talk a lot about sex, just more in a big way in their first album. But going into this one, we see a definite kind of slant and more kind of doing away of that type of method of song and of that topic of songs, and it goes into a little bit more different things that like that, or just like a little more deeper and everything, and that really do add a little bit more levels to the songs overall. Just jumping around, Keep Calm is track 3. That one is one of my highlights personally, and I have a lot of highlights in this whole thing, and that would definitely go into a lot of it. But going into the first one here, Keep Calm track 3, definitely a highlight of the album. It's just there is something about this track that is very satisfying, especially in the ends type of lines he does. It's just overall just it's like one of those songs where it's a little bit rare to have one of these songs where it feels very, very, upbeat and just a positive song, and also somber at the same time, but not talking about a Weeknd style of things where, he tends to hide deep, dark, and very, very, serious lyrics under a very upbeat beat. That's a totally different thing. With this one, it just feels like a mixture of both, sadness and happiness overall. I definitely do like that. And there's another one in this album that I also enjoy. It is also my favorite song. Jumping straight to that, why not? We're going to Mood. It is track 6. And Mood is, oh my god, so good, man. Like there is a just beginning piano that has that same elements of being, sad and happy at the same time. It's very, very weird to explain. I don't know how to explain it fully, but I feel like if you really hear the song, you understand where I'm coming from with that. And I love Mood, man. It is my favorite still right now. There is one that rivals it that we'll talk about in a little bit, but just going off of Mood, I loved it, full-heartedly. And one thing to talk about here that I haven't run into in a long time, just because I have stopped listening to tracks that are a part of the album before the album comes out, right? Like I don't like do that, but my friend was listening to it with me the first night it came out, and he kind of told me that, hey, listen, tracks 4, 5, 6, and 7, those tracks were released before the album came out. So again, that goes into my whole thing about how I hate when artists do that. And obviously I get it, because of they want to spur hype for the album and everything, stuff like that. Like I totally understand the point of having singles, right? But with them being in a row, with them being in the middle of this album, I feel that is honestly the worst case scenario here, where we have tracks 1, 2, and 3, yeah, they're new, but then if you listen to 4, 5, 6, and 7 right before the album comes out, and you have been for a few weeks now, obviously some of those tracks came out literally like a week before the album, so obviously you wouldn't be that burnt out on them. But for example, if you listen to, like, let's say track 4 probably came out a few months ago and everything, and then you have a it kind kind of thing where it becomes a roadblock, where you have these 4 tracks that, you know, you'll be more likely to skip because you've heard it, and also that's where you lose some context to later songs overall, and it's just the overall possibility of you losing the overall kind of meaning and, you know, overall, you know, just angle that the artist is going after. So definitely don't like that, but I didn't experience that because I didn't listen to any of the songs, so I didn't have that problem. But if you did, that is exactly why I preach the you know, no singles, at least in the middle of the album. If you have something at the end of the album, that's totally different. If it's at the end, totally different. If it's at the beginning, you know what I'm saying, I can, you know, we can understand that. But having multiple songs in a row in the middle is just it's a no-go for me. And then there was the self-titled track, Morning After. You know, honestly, Morning After, I wasn't feeling it that much. I didn't love it, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't, you know, my favorite track, and I was hoping it would be just because it is, you know, again, the same title as the album and everything. But, you know, that song kind of felt flat for me overall. I wasn't really, you know, just the biggest fan of Morning After. A lot of people love it, a lot of people like it, and that's, you know, great to them. But just for me, it wasn't really, you know, my cup of tea. You know what, just going back also, there's a song here called Don't Choose. I don't want to say I hate, you know what, I'm gonna say I hate this song. I don't like this song. There was something about the way, you know, he says his lyrics and he says the song and everything and how he sings it. It sounds a little bit naggy. It sounds a little bit repetitive to me. You know, again, this is totally my opinion. I just do not like Don't Choose. Like I totally hate that song, guys. I can't do it. I don't know. Like, you know, to me, just a little mental crazy thing that I probably shouldn't be saying in this review, but I'm gonna say anyway. But it just like reminds me of like as if, you know, this song was made for a feminine voice, like for a woman, and then he just did it. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, that's not, you know, a bad thing overall. You know, you can sing whatever you want. I don't care. But you know, that's just how it sounds, at least to me. Like it sounds like, oh, like this would be cool if like, I don't know, Brandy made a revival and like did this song, or, you know, I don't know, you know, just another female artist. But like, you know, just to hear Division do this song, it sounds a little bit odd to me. I don't know, it just sounds definitely weird in my opinion. But then we have one of the better tracks of this album, and really is kind of my second, and then it has flipped for first. I'm telling you guys, flipped for first. It is Can't Wait. This is towards the later end of the album, and this song is just so smooth, man. I was cruising on the way to pick up another mic for, you know, just my whole setup here, and just like another mic where I can be mobile at school and be able to record at school if I need to. You know, if I need to, just, you know, drop of a mic, whatever. But drop a mic, that's funny. But you know, I was listening to this song, you know, on the way home, and oh my god, it was so smooth, guys. Like and really, it was at a point where I've heard this album multiple loops before. Like this had to have been like maybe my 8th time going through the whole album, right? But just hearing, you know, Can't Wait in that specific environment, in that specific scenario, it totally changed the entire song for me, and I loved it so much. And so, you know, just basically from that point on, Can't Wait has been a definite, you know, just top song for me overall. Definitely do enjoy Can't Wait. I just love that song, guys. And then I feel like, you know, Body Smile and Conversations in the Diner, they both kind of rap with each other, I feel, and they both really do play a lot off each other. You know, this is where you're definitely going to get more of these serious tonal differences in Division, where you'll hear it, you know, as opposed to just being like the overly, you know, just topic on sex that was his first album and everything. But going into this one, there are some serious tones here, especially in the outro, which is Conversations in the Diner, where, you know, he says his one line. It goes, you know, pain doesn't last forever, it's just a long day. And it's like, man, like, dude, I feel you. You know what I'm saying? Like there are a bunch of lyrics that I'm like, man, like he is preaching right now. I love it. But definitely do enjoy the end half of this album. Definitely do feel like, you know, for the most part, this album has a very, very consistent tonal, you know, just nice tone overall. So definitely do appreciate that consistency overall throughout the album, and I definitely do enjoy the nice tonal change and the different, you know, things he talk about, and different, you know, just things being brought up in the subject of these songs and in these songs. definitely do like the change up here with Division. Definitely does show a nice positive kind of growth to the duo that is, you know, that makes up Division, the singer and the producer and everything. And I definitely do like how you know, they've just changed it up a little bit here and just give not change for change's sake, but you know, change in a way that, hey, I want to portray this, I want to, you know, do something here, and it's not a change that is so drastic. It's familiar, it's just a different view and a different angle of what we're used to with Division. So definitely do appreciate the change that, you know, is very, very welcoming overall. And definitely do like this. You know what, I definitely do like Morning After, right? At first I was a little mundane about it, and there is the elements of, you know, things of where I feel that like the album does get a bit boring and a bit mundane if you listen to it over and over again. Now obviously, you know, that sentence doesn't make any sense because I just said, yeah, if like, you know, like obviously if you listen to an album over and over again, it's gonna get boring to you, like duh. But you know, even when I, you know, just even if there were times where I just kind of like, okay, let me like listen to something else, and I listen to this after work, right? There was still kind of the element of like, yeah, like, all right, you know, this is a little bit, you know, like the topics changed, of course, right? That is definitely a welcoming change overall, but there is still the Division sound, and he does hit the same notes, you know, that sound the same against other notes that he did before with his first album. So there is like a little bit of elements of kind of like repetitiveness with Division, and you can argue if that's his style or not, you know, if that's like his overall kind of trademark style he's going with overall. You can argue that, but overall, you know, just to wrap up everything, Morning After is a great album. Definitely should listen to it overall. If you love OVO, if you love Division, definitely do listen to it overall. And I feel like this is definitely going to be an album that's looked back to, you know, with them as being a very, very, very memorable album, I would say. It's definitely memorable. That it is definitely a point where it definitely took a different change. Thanks iPad for making a noise. And overall the album is great. Make sure to stream it, download it, wherever you got, Apple Music, Spotify, all that good stuff. Make sure to check it out on your music platform of choice. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all I got on this review. If you all enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, or share down below. But you give me, thanks for watching, and as always, I got you.